Hello guys, and welcome once again to the same workshop. I hope you guys are having a nice time. My name is Olasukomi, and in this tutorial I will be showing you guys how to cut and sew a complete trouser. It's going to be a step by step as always, but the difference here is that this technique I'll be using can be used for both male and female outfits. You can use it for either male and female, or a child, or whatever you want to use it for, but it applies to both actually. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. This video is going to be a full video of the cutting, how I'm going to add the fusing to the outfit, and how I'm going to sew the zipper, the pocket side, the band, and the belt strap. A complete video. So I hope you guys enjoy the video, and without further ado, let's go straight into the tutorial. So the very first thing I do on this outfit is I already fold on this fabric. I already fold it into two. You can see this is double. This is the right side of the fabric, while this is the wrong side of the fabric. So here we're going to start the trouser. Let's cut out the trouser. But first and foremost, at this edge, I'm going to mark a straight line. So I'm going to have a straight edge around that place. I believe you can see that. So the next thing I'll be doing here is I will be taking out 1 inch from here, from the exact point of this this ruffle edge. I'm going to take out 1 inch. As you can see, after I take that 1 inch, the waist of this trouser, if you've watched the video on how to take the trouser measurement, I basically used to take the waist measurement, I take my lap measurement, I take my length measurement, and I take my knee measurement. Sometimes I don't take the knee measurement. So that's what we're going to use on this one, and the M, which is the circumference of the leg. So here our waist is going to be at 36 inch. You can see that our waist is going to be at 36 inch. So to get to 36 inch divided by 4, you can divide that yourself. But here the basic process I used to follow is I'm just going to fold this into 2. You see that? Fold it at this edge. So that's divided by 2, that's 18. Divided by 3. Divided by 4, sorry. So here we have 9 inch. We have 9 inch. So to that 9 inch, I'm going to add 1 inch to that 9 inch right here. So I'm going to mark 10. I'm going to start it from this particular point right here. So I'm going to mark my 10 inch here. I used my waist measurement to cut out my waist. Some people use their hip divided by 4 to cut it out, but basically I use my waist measurement. So here, to cut out the crotch, after you take out your waist measurement right here. To cut out the crotch, you don't need to stress yourself. Just divide your waist by the same thing you had here, which is 10 that you used to measure your waist. Is what you're going to add, put here downward, and you're going to add 1 inches to that, making 11. I hope you get that. That's 10 plus 1, making 11. So I'm going to mark my 11 inch right here. You see that? Just mark out my 11 inch. Also at this point, I'm going to take out the same thing, 11 inch. I'm going to mark it here. You see that? Also at this point, I'm going to take out 1 inch. So I'm going to have a hip cuff. So here, I'm going to, the same 10 measurements I take here, I'm going to take it also at this place. It's going to be 10 inch. You see that? I want this to be a very simple tutorial, so that I won't be chalking and showing you a lot of chalk. That's why I'm having to do it like this. So here his lap is 26 inch. So 26 inch divided by 2 will give us 13, right? That's 26 divided by 2 will give us 13 inch. So basically you just place your 26 inch at this point. As simple as that. As simple as that. But as for me, mostly I used to put like 2.5 in front of here. But if you're the one doing it, I want you to just have extra inches, so you can just place your lap at this point exactly 26 inch. You see, that's 13 down to this place. You're going to mark your 26 inch at that point. So you see what we have here. Let me focus this camera very well. I can see it seems not that focused. So as you can see, after I took out my my lap measurement here, which is what I just took now, all I have to do is just to mark it and just join them together. Here I'm going to join this part together. You see that? Just this place. Also here I'm going to join this place also together. Do you see that? It's as simple as ABC. So here for our waist slant, I'm going to take out 1 inch out of here. Remember the we added 1 inch to this waist side in order to give the crotch a little bit of depth, right? So here I'm going to remove 1 inch from here. So at this part I'm going to slant that 1 inch together with this one. Can you see that? So here you're going to take your crotch cuff and easily take out your crotch cuff at this point. Do you see that? So far. So here, this 1 inch at this place, you're going to take the 1 inch a little bit back, which will be our hip cuff around here. So from here, you're going to take your measurement just straight. And stretch yourself just straight like that. You see what I did? I took out 1 inch backwards, so I took out, you see that? So now we're going to take our knee measurements. Our knee is from the hip to the knee, we have our 22. So here you're going to take your 22 inch. You're going to mark your 22 from this top here. From this top right here, you're going to mark your 22. You see that just at that point. So now we're going to take our length measurements. So let me turn this camera a little bit to the down part so you can see. So from this top right here, from the top you're going to take your length measurements. The length of this trouser is going to be at 39 inch. So I'm going to add an extra 1 inch to that because I'll be adding a band of 1.5, don't forget. So I'm going to add an extra 1 inch to that, which will give me, sorry, I'm going to add an extra 2 inch to that, which will give me 39 plus 2 inch, which will give me 41 inch. Because we're going to actually weave it and we're going to cut some out, that's why I'm adding an extra. So also here I'm going to, from the top, I'm going to mark the same thing, 41. I'm going to add the same thing here, 41. I believe you can see that. Okay, no, sorry, you can see that clearly. Okay, I believe you can see that now. Here I just from the top here down to this part, I mark my length measurements. That's the trouser length. So at this place I'm going to take out 1 inch or so, because as you know our body is not straight, our leg is sort of curved and we are not like, I don't know how to put that in explanation, but this is how it's supposed to be. So here I'm going to take my leg circumference, which is 13. So you're going to divide your 13 by 2 and add an half of an inch to it. So I'm taking it right here. Do you see what I just did? So at this point, I'm going to join this line together. Did you see that? and join that together. So now I'm going to join from this particular 1 inch which we cut out before. I'm going to join it to this waist right here, to the hip, around the hip here. So you need to just chalk it straight also. Can you see that? We are almost there. So now all you have to do is just to this part, just roll it straight. We already have our curve bent around here, so here you just have to do just to make a straight line at this point. You stop the straight line at this exact, let's say our 22 inch. So at this point I already mark our 22, which is our knee measurement from the top here. 22. All right, 22. So our knee measurement, you can see that. So from this place, from your crotch here down to this your 22, that's when we are going to have our slant. Do you see that? But basically, because our body is not as straight as this, you can see it, so we are going to use a little bit of curve around here, which you're gonna use your free hand if you can. Curve around here, just too deep. Can you see that? That is how it's supposed to be. We are going to sew this together from start to finish. So this is the whole of how to chalk out a trouser. So let me take you guys through the process again. So I'm gonna roll the camera backward here. As you can see from here, I cut out my waist measurements. I had 1 extra inches to it, which make it 10. And here from up to this down part, I had an extra 1 inch to it also, making 11. And I cut 1 inch out here for my slant allowance, for my slants, for my waist slant, which I'm going to cut out from here. Also from here to here, I measure 11. And here is where I had my lap measurement. From this 1 inch here, I had my lap measurement, exactly my lap measurement. So the extra inch here is going to be for the seam allowance, and when we weave, we're gonna cut out some out of it. So that is what this part is. This 1 inch extra here is for. So that is it for this part, and also straight to the down part, straight to the hemming side. So here I'm going to cut it out. And you see that I just cut out that slant part, just cut it out, and now I can easily cut this up part and the crotch. So here also cutting it down straight. I believe you guys can see it. So let's cut it down to that. You see that? So now I'm going to cut out the leg part. So you can see that. I'm going to trim the side out. So far this is what we have for our trouser, which is the front part. You can see that it's all about the front. So the next thing we're going to cut out now is the back. So just place this one right here. I'm going to shift this one a little bit to the front. You can see that. So I hope you guys are paying attention to this tutorial. After I shift that to the front, I'm going to place the front on it. Just turn it like this. I hope you guys can see how I turn it. You make sure your crotch side is facing this side. So after you turn it, make sure this side and this side are just exactly like that. And make sure this side, let me turn this a little bit. Okay, make sure this side is also close to this side. So here, the very first thing we're going to do right now is I will be making a notch at this place, because that will be our crotch for the back side, and I'll be trimming this part out. I just saw that that down part is not balanced, so I just make it straight. Cut it down straight. So here we have this is what we're going to use as our zip cover, so you're gonna have to keep this. So after you're done cutting out this part, the thing you're gonna do next is you're going to shift this one a little bit backward. Shift it backward. I'm going to be adding like 1.5 inch on this one. I'll be adding 1.5 inch here. Okay, for sewing allowance. And at this place, I'm going to add an extra 3 inch in this place, so that the buttocks will have enough room to set. You getting that? Get the point? Okay. So I add an extra. Okay, sorry, camera can see that part. Okay, here I add an extra 3 inch here, so that the buttocks will have enough place to sit. I believe you can see that. So the next thing I'll be doing here now is very simple. This part is quite important, so I want to make a very well detailed explanation about this part. So here, so that the back of the of your trouser will be covering your buttocks very well, you're going to add an extra, they call it rise. For the back rise, it's going to be like an extra 1.5 inch. Sometimes you can make it a little bit more than, depending on, but if you're sewing for a woman and you don't want her buttocks to be open, you can add an extra 2 inch for that. But if you're sewing for a man, you can just add an extra 1 inch. I mostly add between 1 inch or 1.5 inch, the maximum of 2 inch for the rise actually. So here I'm going to add 1.5 inch for the rise right here. So I'm going to add an extra 1 inch for my back dart. I'm going to take a dart for the trouser, which is going to be like half of an inch for the back. So from here, from that 1 inch which I measured before, I'm going to make a slant like this. I believe you can see that. From that 1 inch there, I make a slant to this particular place, and from that place I'm going to make a straight line, okay, to this place. Can you see that? So now I can make a curve. I can make a curve here. If you have your hip curve, you can easily use it though. I'm just messing. Okay. So here, I just make my curve. You can see that. It's as simple as that. So here, from this your rise, you're going to join this rise to this back to this side. Do you see that? So now you're gonna have to cut it off. Let me just come to the side of the camera. So at this point you're going to cut it out. You're going to cut this part also. So this one also, you need to keep it very well. This is what we're going to use our pocket cover. So we're going to keep this also. So after cutting that one out, now I'm going to cut the back out straight. So just cut this back side straight out. Okay, so far here we have our pant, as simple as A, B, and C. Do you see that? So now I'm going to cut out our band, our waistband, and that is it. So after we're done cutting the trouser, that first one, this is the next thing we're going to cut. This is for the band, the trouser band. Here the width of this one is at 2.5. You can see that, right? It's at 2.5, and the length is going to be at 27 inch. I just add an extra inch to that for the button overlap on the trouser, that front part in which we have an overlap. So here we have 27. I cut the same size. You know, basically our trouser is at 23 inch, which would be for the waist side, but for the extra allowance and the overlap, I add an extra 4 inch to that, making 27. That's why I cut out 27 for this. So here we're going to like fuse this and fold it. And next thing we're gonna need is our pockets. Don't forget that. Here we have, I'll be using this white fabric for the pocket. So I already cut it. It's going to be at, let me show you. You're going to cut 2 of this. So here I have 2 of this. It's going to be by 14 by 14. So here, that's for adults actually. If you're cutting for a smaller person, it shouldn't be up to that. So here we have 14 inch. You see that? And the height also is going to be at 14 inch. Can you see that? So that's what we're gonna fold. So after you cut it, you can cut it in square form, and you're going to shape the edge, this curve side. So that we have so far for this, and also this one. So here we'll start and also here we have the trouser itself. So the next thing we're going to do right now is very simple. I'll be taking out the front of the trouser. You see this? This is the front part, which is this the back. You know that the back will be bigger than the front. So here we have the front, and I'm going to be fusing this front side. So I want you guys to pay attention to what I'm about to do right now. I've been using this fabric for ironing for a while now, so I'll be using this for the ironing. So here I'm going to place this right on top of here. I want to fold out my pockets. So this is very important. This is the first stage of starting a pant itself. So the next thing I'll be doing is here I have a fusing. You can see this. I'm going to fold this in at 8 inch. The pocket square is going to be at 7 inch itself, so I'm going to fold this at 7.5. I'm going to cut this and put a little bit of shape at the edge. You can see that. This is what I just did now. So here at this point I'm going to be the glue part. You're going to find the glue part. This is the glue part. I'm going to make sure it fits here. You can see that. I'm going to iron it. Iron this to the fabric. Can you see that? Also here, just place it right there. Find the glue parts, iron it to the fabric also. I want you guys to pay attention to what I'm doing right here, because all the measurements we're going to do here, we're going to still need it on the when we're doing the sewing of the pocket. So here, this is what we have so far. You can see that. So the next thing I'll be doing here is I'll be cutting my pocket square. It's going to be at 7 inch. So I'm going to make a small notch at this 7 inch here. You see that? I'm going to make a small notch here. So after making the small notch, so I'm taking one of it, you see. So I'm going to fold one of it. I'm going to bend it at 2 inch. 2 inch. Here we have 2 inch. I'm bending it at 2 inch. See what I'm doing? So I'm going to iron it. Make sure it sticks down. Just bend that at 1 inch. Can you see that? So also here, I'm going to fold this one to the back. Automatically, I will just fold this one to the back. Definitely, I'll be folding exactly the same thing that I fold here because I'll be tracing it. Yeah, so I fold 2 inch also here. So far this is what we have, and our trouser is almost done. So this is what the fronts look like. So here I just fold this one. This is the right side and this is the wrong side of the band in which we're gonna use. This is soft fusing, as you can see. You can see this is what I'll be using for the band. So I'm just going to place my soft fusing right here. Let's place it on top of it. So after ironing like that, it's easier for me to just draw this part out, just trim it out. Trim it out and separate each of the side. So you're gonna take your time to make sure you trim all those edges very well. So after that, now I will need to fold this part, each of those sides. You see that right here, I'll be folding half of an inch individually, but one will be, I'm just going to fold, if you already cut the same 2.5 inch in which we cut before, 2.5 like this, just make sure you're folding half of an inch at each side. I have a sort of accurate hand, so I know what I'm folding. So after this, the next one you're going to fold now, make sure you have your 1.5 inch exact measurement. You see that? So now, as you can see, this one is a little bit bigger than this. This will be the one that we're going to attach our waistband. This, the bigger part is where we're going to attach our waistband, while the other part is where we're going to attach to our waist. So there's a difference between the two. So now just make sure you have your accurate 1.5 inch. Make sure it is 1.5 inch, then you can iron it down. Place your iron. So that's what we have so far. You can see. So this is what we have so far. So now you're going to do the same thing on this one. So after folding, this is what it looks like. You can see this is the two, both sides. So we have here this our band. This is our trouser. Can you see that? I just want to show you everything we will be coupling together. This is our trouser. See that? So here is the pockets we're going to use. You can see this is two. I have two of this. You can see it separately. I have two of this. And right here we have this one for our zip cover. And we have this one for our pocket cover. You can see that the one we cut out from the buttock side. We have this one, and here I cut out 1.5 inch. This is what I will be folding for our belt strap. Just a straight one, 1.5 inch. This is what I will be using for our belt strap. So now let's go to the sewing machine and let's couple them all together step by step. Yeah, so sorry, I had to change my camera lens. I don't know, I'm having an it's kind of like blurry sort of, so I decided to change the camera lens. So here, this is what we have so far. We have our pockets, we have our band. This will be the pocket cover, don't forget. This will be the strap, and this is our trouser. But first and foremost, let me start with my pockets, because that will be the first thing you'll be fixing. So I'll be taking this front part. So the very first thing you'll be doing is your pocket cover. This, just make sure you look for the front part. This is the front and this is the wrong side of the fabric. I'll be placing it right here. Don't make a mistake of that. So now I'll start the stitch. Sorry, before you get to the M, can you see, before you get to this edge right here, you have to fold that part. This is quite fast, but basically because I'm teaching you guys how to do it, so I'll be taking quite a few time. So I'm going to stitch this. So let me show you that part. So before you get to this edge part, you're going to fold it inside. Just fold it in. You see that? Start the stitch. After you run the stitch, then you start the stitch straight up. That particular point. So the next one, don't forget we're stitching, this is the round edge, as you can see. This is the round edge, but we're stitching from the straight upper parts. So you're going to place this one at this side. I believe you can see that. Remember, we placed the first one at this other side, so the next one will be at this other side. So you start your stitch. Going to fold this edge. After folding that edge, start folding it and stitching. So after I'm stitching that, so now to confirm maybe you've done the right thing or you've done the wrong thing, just place it like this and place this one on top of it. So as you can see, this one is at this side while this one is at this side. So let's join our pants to it. So here you're gonna take one of this. I'm going to take this one. So the next thing you're gonna do is just take one of this. You're going to make sure this side is facing this side. It's facing like your machine. Don't forget that. And you're going to place your pants on it. This front side, you're going to place it on it. after you place it. Just pay attention to what I'm doing and follow it step by step. After you place it, as you can see, you're going to start your stitch from this. You can see these gaiters right here, but you're going to start your stitch at the back of these gaiters, right at this back. You can see I stitch at the back of the gaiters. You can see that. So now I'm going to open it into two. Can you see that? So I'm going to stitch this part also. Just fold it inside a little bit. Fold that part inside. Fold it well. Start your stitch. You're going to sew it down. Make sure you're folding it and it's balanced well. You can see what I just did. Can you see that? So after that, you're going to fold this one. This edge, this will be your the front of your pocket, that square side. So here you're going to run a very straight stitch at this point. Now we end it at that part. We take a closer look at it now. You're going to see that the stitch is very straight. You see that? The stitch is very straight. So now we're going to, like, as you can see, it's like this. I'm going to bring out my pocket. I want you guys to understand. That's why I'm doing it step by step. I take out my pocket just like this. You can see, and I'll start the stitch from here. So when I get to this part, I'm going to make the shape inside. I'll just sew it inside a little bit and I'm going to cuff it out. I'm going to show you what I did at that point. That place is very important so that you won't make a mistake. You can see what I did at that point. I sew it in, then I cuff it outside. So after cuffing it outside, it will be easier for you to make a notch at this point. Just cut it to that particular thread. Yeah, so you can easily cut out this part. So after cutting it out, you can put your hand inside the pockets and turn it over. So when you turn it over, you can have your pockets looking like this. You see what you just did? It's not a magic. If you don't get it at the first time, try and do it again. You definitely get what I just did now. So the next thing you're going to do is from inside here, you're going to stitch the edge. You can see you're going to stitch this edge. I'm just going to sew that edge round so that it's going to like bend the fabric, so that when the container like use the trouser, this pocket side will not just cut out. So here, to do the closing of this part, it's very simple. To do the closing, you have to do this first. This place you're going to stitch it down. You're going to stitch it down. This is what I did. You see that? So here you have to pay attention to this place also. Remember we folded when we were folding the pants, this cuff side, we folded 2 inches inside here. So that 2 inches inside here, that 2 inch inside here, so we're going to like bring outside here also. So here we have 2 inch. So make sure it's not like going a little bit bigger than that 2 inch. So just make sure this is balanced well, and you measure your 2 inch here. Perfect. So you're going to hold it down and sew this place down so it won't be running. Yeah, just cut out the thread. As you can see, I have an SS at this part. It's not a problem. If you also have something like that, it's not a problem at all. Just trim it out. See how simple that is. So the same thing we did here, we are going to do it also with this other pocket. Just follow the step by step, just follow the process, do the turning, and you're going to get exactly the same result. So after this, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to weave this the two, both the right and the left side of the pants. After you do the other one, we're going to weave each side. We're going to weave even also the back also. Before we join it, we're going to weave the back also, and also this our zip cover. You can see we are going to weave this one also. So the next thing I'm going to do is weaving, and after the weaving I'm going to come back to the sewing machine and I'm going to show you what happened next. So as you can see, I already weaved all the parts. You can see I already weaved, including the trouser and the belt strap. So the next thing we're going to do now is we're going to add our zip. So what you're supposed to do is this is the front side. So you make sure those two fronts are facing each other. Make sure these two fronts are facing each other just like this. You can see that. Our zip opening is going to be at 7 inch. If you're sewing for a child, you don't have to leave up to 7 inch. It can be like around 4 or 5 inch if you're sewing for a little child. So here we have I'll be taking, but this after the weave, you can see I already weaved it. But if you don't have a weaving machine, because you can just sew it up like that. I also wore an outfit without an inner weave before I got a weaving machine, so it's not a problem. You can just join up and continue from here. So here I'll be stitching from 7 inch. So here you just mark your 7 inch from this top part. I believe you can see it. You're going to mark your 7 inch right here. So I'll be stitching from here. So from exactly the 7 inch right here, you're going to make a stitch. So this place is a very delicate part of the body, because we mostly possibly want to run, want to sit down, want to jump, want to do whatever. So I advise you to sew this place twice in order to give it a firm stitch. So just sew this like that. So I believe you can see what I did. I'm going to sew this place twice. So after that, the next thing you're going to do is you have to open up the side of it, which is this side. You can see you're going to place your, as you can see, this is the right side of the fabric. It's also facing this right side at this straight side. So the next thing you're going to do, you're going to fold this one, fold it a little bit. You see how I fold it, so you can take it out. It's as simple as that. After folding it, so this is your zipper. You make sure this is the front of your zipper. The front of your zipper will be facing the fabric. That's the point I want to make clear. This the front of your zipper, you can see, will be facing your fabric like that. So now you're going to place this on top of it, so it will be easier for you to understand. That's why I just do it like that. So now don't forget, the front of your zipper will be facing the fabric like this. You're going to open this up, just open it up, you can see, and you're going to hold your zipper close to the weave side. Just as simple as that. So now you can easily place your zipper. You make sure this metal part actually go a little bit above the pant itself. So this place is a little bit confusing, but you're going to figure it out. I believe you're smart. I believe you're smart. Yes. So you're gonna switch it. So you're gonna swing it down, down, down. Hey, I just got the thread. So you're going to sew it straight down. Exactly to get your 7-inch length. You can see what we have so far. That's what we have so far. You can see that, right? Simple. So now I'll be stitching this other one without the zipper. So just place it, make sure the front side is facing the front side. I'll be leaving a little bit of allowance here also for this, that's zipper metal. So I'll be stitching here also. Just stitch this one straight. Stitch it to this point. You can see I stitched to this point. So now I will need to use the iron. All I have to do is just to iron it like this. I'm going to open this place, iron it. I'll make sure it's balanced well, and I'm going to fold it like this, and I'm going to iron it. So let me do that quickly and show you how it looks. So as you can see, I already ironed this part. It's very simple, and I fold it over. I will make sure I fold it just straight like this, and I iron it so that part will be sharp. You can see that. So if you turn it inside, now we're going to have our zipper look like this. Can you see that? We're going to have our zipper look like this. Can you see? So the next thing you'll be doing is make sure this overlap very well so that your zipper won't be obvious. You can see that. Make sure it overlap well. Maybe like just 1/4 of an inch, a little bit, not that much. 1/4 of an inch, as you can see that. So now I'll be folding this one backward, and I'll be getting this particular point in which I need. You can see. So the next thing I'll be doing now, okay, I hope you can see it very well. The next thing I'll be doing now is I'll be holding this fabric, this flap here. I'll be holding it with the zipper, just the zipper. I'll be holding it with the zipper. After holding it together like this, I'll turn it just straight up like this. Now place it under the sewing machine. Now start the sewing. Now start the sewing. Just as simple as ABC. That part is very, very simple. You can see that. So I already stitched this I already stitched that with the fabric. So now in our front, this is what we have. You can see that. Very, very simple, right? I believe. Alright, so now after this where we're going to do our zipper crotch. So here, if you can't like sew this part very straight, you can chalk it and follow your chalk. But if you can sew it straight, just sew it straight. So here I'll be sewing like one quarter, like one quarter actually, one like this. You can see this is like what I'll be sewing, not up to half of an inch. I'll be sewing this. So before I sew that, I will be opening this one up. I won't be stitching these parts with it. So after that part is open, I measure my 1/4. Okay. After I do the mark, you need to make sure it's aligned. This place is very, very important. So your hand have to be very, very straight. So I'm going to stitch it. I'm going to curve this edge. Can you see that? Can you see that? So from behind, I'm going to cut it also. So now you can easily fold this one backward. So after folding it backward, we're going to make a stitch. I'm going to make a stitch at this edge. Very, very simple. So this stitch will be the one holding this one down from here. It's quite simple, right? So here we have our zipper fixed. Simply unzip your zip, unzip your zipper, and we have it just like that. So the next thing we're going to do now is we are going to join each of the side of the trouser before we do the finishing, and that's all. So now to join the side of the trouser, you'll be taking each side. So first and foremost, I'll be taking this one. So just place it on this one, just like this. You can start sewing from this upper part, but basically I don't like sewing from the from this waist side, so I'm going to turn it from the down. Make sure it's straight. I'll start my stitch from here. So any overlap or any excess will be at the upper part, so I can easily cut it out. Nonetheless, I will not be having an overlap. So here I'll be sewing half of an inch here. I'll be sewing sew it straight. Sew that part straight up. You can see that's very, very simple. So the next thing we'll be doing is on this one also. make my stitch on this one also. I'll be sewing half of an inch here also. You can see that. Okay, so far we already joined all the side and every part of it. So now I'll be taking out my darts, the back darts. So it's as simple as just folding your fabric into two. You see that? Make sure they are accurate. Fold them into two like this and place it. So here I'll be taking out, you remember we added like half of an inch here for the dart, so I'll be taking that out here. And the depth of it is going to be at 30 inch, but if you're sewing for a child, it should be like 2 inch or 1.5. And you're going to slant it. You can see you're going to slant it just like this. So you're going to do the same thing here. Fold them into two. Fold them into two. Take your measurements. Make a stitch. Can see that one also. See, so far this is what we have. Our pants is almost ready. You can see that. So after this I will be adding my back pockets, which is another kind of like a little bit difficult to do, but we're going to do it together so you guys can see the process. So now the next thing I'll be doing is adding a back pocket. So we have to go to the cutting table once again and do that. So I'm just going to cut like two of these. I cut two of these actually. So this is what I'll be doing. You can see this at 7.5 body. The pockets, the welt pocket for the back trouser is going to be at 6 inch. You can get that. So but I cut 7.5 so for the allowance. So the next thing I'll be doing is I'll be adding a little bit of this fusing. Don't forget, I'm actually fusing the wrong side. This is the right side of the fabric. You can see that. So after that, I'm going to cut this part out. So now at this point I'm just going to fold this one into two in order to get the center point. So here is my center point. Okay, remember the width of the pocket is going to be at 6 inch, so I'm going to divide my 30 inch on both. Sorry, they just took my light and they brought it back actually. So sorry, I don't want this to be up to 6 inches. It's going to be at 5.5. So you're going to divide your 5.5 divided by 2, and you're going to get your accurate measurements. So here is my 5.5 inch. So now I'm going to apply the same thing on this one also. Chalk out your 5.5, the center point, and your 5.5. You can see that. So that's what we're going to stitch to our trouser. So now on our trouser, you can see this. Depending on where you want the trouser to be, I want the trouser to be on the right side, which is supposed to be at this side, as you can see, at this side. So here is where I'm going to add a little bit of fusing. And this dot right here, I'll be adding the fusing at this edge here. Just going to place a fusing at that point. I'm going to go on it. Don't forget, this is the inside part, this is the inner. This is the right side of the fabric. So just make sure your fusing stay very well. Or if you've seen a video of how to sew a welt pocket before, you can just follow that one. It's as simple as always. So now we're going to stitch our welt pockets here. We're going to stitch this one here, and we're going to turn them inside. Also, before we start the stitching, I'm going to cut out this at 16 inch. This is what I'll be using as instead of a lining for the pockets. This is what I'll be using. This is what I'll be using to turn it over for the pocket side. But if you have a lining, you can use a lining. It's almost the same thing. So let's get to the sewing again. So the side in which you already had the fusing, you can see, just place it like that. Now I'll be taking one of this. This one will be the one, the down part. Just make sure your hand is straight in this one. If you can't figure out a straight hand, you can just place it on the table and make a roll before you stitch on it. I believe you can see that. Also, I'm going to place this one in front of it. You see that? Start the stitch. So let's sew it also. With a closer look, you can see what we have. But at this point, this one is actually not aligned. You can see that this has to be very, very in line so that we won't miss it. So I have to stitch that place very well. So now you can see. That's what we have. You can see this side also. So now the next thing I'll be doing is I'll be cutting it. Let's cut this side. When you get to a little bit around here, you're going to make a notch. So here, you're going to make a notch. So you're going to do the same thing at the other side. Start a stitch, start cutting. When you get somewhere around here, you're going to make a notch. Make sure you don't go beyond that cut out there. Here also, I'm going to make a notch. You can see that. You can see that. So that is it so far. So now the next thing you're going to do is you're going to pull all this inside, and we're going to go to the ironing table once again. Don't get tired, it's not easy. After this one, you'll be able to do it yourself. That's why it's a step-by-step process. You will definitely remember everything you're seeing right now. Alright, you can see. So we're going to iron it down. We're going to fold our flap, our cover, before we're going to join this up in order for the turn up. You can see after you turn it inside, so this is what we have. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to iron this part very well. Make sure it is ironed down. Yeah. So this one too. So now for the overlap, all you have to do, you just want a single overlap for the back pocket. So this when we have to like push this one upward, make sure it's covered that hole. Make sure it's covered up that hole. See that? I'm going to iron it. You can see that, right? So when you look at this from the front, this is what we're going to have. It's quite simple, right? So this is what we're going to have from the front side. You see that? So next thing we're going to do is we're going to stitch each of these edges. We're going to stitch both edges very well. So that is all for this part. You can see. So that's all for this part right here. So after this, you can see this is what we have. The next thing I'll be doing now is, first and foremost, I'll take this to the front. This is what we have in the front, and I'm going to stitch inside this stitch right here in order to just hold that part down. So I'm going to stitch it. As simple as that. Stitch inside that part. So the next thing I'll be doing is like this. See that? I just stitch from the edge right here, you can see that. So this one also, let's lift it up a little bit. I'm just make sure I'm stitching this particular thing, this thing, you can see it, this one, I'm stitching it to the fabric so that it's going to hold the pockets. So if you're not seeing it before, make sure the two sides are open. So in the front also, that's what we have. We're going to iron this part very well. So it's going to be straight. So far this is what we have. Next thing we're going to do right now is let me explain something right here before we continue. If you intend to cover up this place, this your back side, like the folding with another color, let's assume you're using this white here. So what you're supposed to do is to make sure this one actually goes a little bit over this hole. Make sure this one goes over the hole like this. Make sure it goes over the hole like this, so that when they're seeing the pocket from the back, they will be seeing the same color of fabric. But as for this one that I'm using the same color of fabric, I will just have to attach this one together with this one. Just have to attach them together. So after sewing it like that, I'll need to make sure I double stitch this part so that the threading won't be showing. It's going to top stitch. After top stitching that part, very simple. The next thing I'll be doing is this. I don't know why this is okay. Okay, you can see. The next thing I'll be doing is just folding from here. The depth of the pocket is going to be at 7 inch. You can see that. So I'm just going to fold this one up from that 7 inch. See that? You can see that from that 7 inch. So I'm going to start the stitching from this side. Okay, I'm going to hold it together. You already have your 7 inch. You can I will be notching these edges so that I won't make a mistake. You can see that. So I'm going to start the stitching from this side. See, so I'm going to start the stitch. I want to stitch it round so I'll be able to take out this scrub. So I'll make it a curve round. So when I get to this part here, I'm going to stitch this place straight. The reason why I stitch it like that, let me show you so that you won't make a mistake, is because of this part. If you did not stitch that part, this place will be obvious, this place will be open. You'll be able to put your, if you put anything in your pocket, it can go to the top part and it can fall from somewhere else. That's why we mostly stitch that part. So now I can easily cut out this excess. So you can see this is what we have. This is our pocket. After cutting down that excess, I will easily, I'm going to like weave all this one around, so we're going to have a perfect and neat inside, like the neat inner. So let me weave it before we continue the whole of the sewing again, before we continue the joining. So as you can see, I already weaved this the edge. Our pocket is stand, and you can see that. So now I'm just going to stitch this upper part. I'm just going to stitch it to the borders, so it won't be like and now I'm going to join this one together. You can see. You can see. So now I will be taking out my 36 measurement, which is 36 divided by 2, which will give me 18. You can see that 18. So from here, I'm going to give a gap of 2 inch because I'll be joining it over. So here, from here, in my 18th step, I'm going to join it to the split. See that? So far, this is what we have. This is what we have. This is what our waist looks like. You can see that. 18. So now what I will be doing next is I will be sewing the leg, the hem part to the top. So the hem of this trouser is 13. Don't forget that. It's 13. That's 13 divided by 2, which will give me 6.5. 6.5. So from here I have my 6.5. So I'll just sew it straight. Be careful at this point, your hand has to be straight. I mostly use free hand to do my sewing, basically because I've been I've gone through all this process of chalking and on my, like, I've gone through that aspect a lot. So I hope you guys understand. I prefer this procedure because it is very, very simple. As for me personally, it is quite simple. So the lap is so its lap measurement is 26, right? So at this place we're going to sew the same thing we're sewing up from down there to this up part, which is going to give us exactly the same 26 inch we want. You can see that. So just stitch that up. that. So when you place your tape right here, you see we have our 13. That's 26 divided by 2, right? So the same thing we're going to do on this other side. So we're going to start our stitch. Just measure your 13. That's 13 divided by 2, 6.5. Okay, 6.5. So you straight up. That. So now we have our pant. This closing side. Now to just close this place, it's as simple as ABC. This is the two leg side, and this is the zipper part. You're going to open up this zipper part just like this. You're going to open this side up. You're going to, you can see it, sorry for that. This zipper part, and this is the buttocks part. I'm going to open these two together like this. Open this one also. You can see I'm going to place it on the sewing machine. I'm going to close up the stitch. So that is it for this one. So when you turn your trouser to the front, you can see what we have so far. Our trouser is almost done. So the next thing we're going to do now is I'm going to sew the base strap. I'm going to sew the base strap, so we are going to fix our band. So here, to sew the base strap, all I will be doing is I'll be folding this into two. You can see, and I'll fold this one also, the two sides. I'm going to face them to each other like this. You can see that. You see that? So I'm going to start the stitch. So after that, I'm going to stitch this one also. After that, I'm going to stitch the other side. This other side, I'm going to stitch it. So far we have our base strap, you can see that. So now I'll just be cutting out 4 inch and I need 6 of this. 4 inch, 1, 2, you can see, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That is all we need. So I'm going to place that at this corner. And the part in which we're going to add our base strap is going to be, let me take the measurements from here. I'm going to take out 3 inch. You can see that. So backward here also, I'm going to place the strap at 3 inch. You can see that. So at this joining side here, I'm going to place a strap there. At this joining on this side also, I'm going to place a strap there. So here, I'm going to, in between this back side, I'm going to take out 2 inch here. From this side also to this side, 2 inch here. So total we have 2, 4, and 6. You get that? So now the next thing I'll be doing is very simple. Here are the band in which we fold before. And here is our band cover. Alright. So what I'll be doing on this one is I'll be cutting exactly the same size of these two. You can see that. So I'll be cutting another one. So far, don't forget this is actually facing, okay, the larger parts. This is the larger parts. This way we're going to stitch our, and make sure this part is readable. If you have the one with the pattern, make sure that part is readable. So I'll be stitching. Also on this one, find the larger parts. This is the larger parts. Here is the larger parts. Place it. Make sure this part is readable. Stitch once more. Sorry, I don't know, the camera is not at the center before. Okay. So far this is what we have. See that? And we have the two right here. You can see. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to attach it to the trouser itself. So just open up your zip and place this at this point, just like that. So I'll be taking my band. You can see it's almost, we are almost done. I'll make sure this one overlap a little bit, just a little bit overlap. And I'm going to open this one. I'll start the stitch from the inside, just like that. After I get that grip, make sure your pocket is not bending from inside, so you won't be having to lose it again. So I can place my, make sure you're placing these joint parts. So I'll place my my strap. At this point, make sure you open this side also. Open it into two. I'm placing my strap there. And you get to this point also. I believe you can see it. This is your strap. So far we have an SS. That's not an issue. All you have to do is just to fold this one backward and cut out this SS. It's not useful. So far, you can see what we have here. You can see what we have so far. And this is our overlap. So we're going to do the same thing on this side also. Open this side up. Get a grip. Okay. And that choke part, don't forget to place your strap. Straight. Have I missed anyone? Okay. So at this part, don't forget to open this one up also. Place your strap. So you need to seal this. And you get to this last one. I'm going to place his strap also. So here is what we have so far. This overlap right here, you can see I'm going to cut it out. This is not useful. You can see that. So here, I just want to do this closing. I want to close this side up. You can see. Just make sure you are on top at that gator side. And make a stitch. this out. So I just close up this place and this part is finished. Let me turn this. I'm going to pinpoint this side out. You can see what we have. At this point, I'll be stitching out this side. Straight up. So far, we're going to open these two sides. We're going to open the side, this back one that we just stitched, and close it. You see that? So this side is complete, just like that. You can see. You can see. So here, we're going to close up this overlap also. This overlap side. It's as simple. Just open it. I want to have an 1 inch overlap at this place. So what I'll be doing is I'll be folding in the other remaining, and I'll have my 1 inch. I'll have my 1 inch at that point. So okay. After I get my 1 inch, okay. Sorry. Don't forget to cut out this this zipper. Yes. Okay, so after I get my 1 inch, just measure and make sure you have your 1 inch right there. You can see. So I'm going to make a stitch. As you can see, this stitch is not beyond this thing right here. I believe you can see it. The stitch is before this the starting of the zipper. You can see. So here I'm going to fold this one backward a little bit. You can see. I'm going to stitch this side also on the gaiters, on this edge, this folded edge here. That's where I'm going to stitch. You can see what we have. I stitched this one over. You can see. So now I'm going to cut it out. And this part also, I'm going to cut it out. You see how I just cut it out? Very simple. And this one. You can see that. So now I'll be turning it inside. You can see I'm going to pinpoint this side out. I'm going to pinpoint this side also out. You can see that. So I can easily fold this one. I'm going to fold this one inside. I'm going to fold, you can see I'll fold it inside. Make sure this place is straight and it have a balancing. After folding it inside, we're cutting half of this out. This video is going to be uncut. Like, I want you to see the raw of everything, how everything is done. So after that, going to start the stitch. From in between the stitch, I'm going to start the stitch inside so no one will see it at all. Make sure your hand is straight while doing this. This part is the finishing part and it's very, very important. I make a mistake and I want you to see the mistake also. This, let me lose it. This back side is supposed to be opened. Make sure it is open before you stitch it. Okay. Alright. So I already opened it now. I'm going to continue my stitch. Okay, so far this is our trouser. I swear this is looking nice and I'm loving this already. You can see ironing will be the one to balance it out. So on the strap, it's as simple as this. I'm going to stitch I believe you can see it all. I'm going to stitch half of an inch. No, half of an inch at this point. You can see half of an inch. I'm going to stitch that. We're going to stitch it to the borders. Bring closer. You can see a stitch out of an inch, just like that. So I'm going to lift this one up a little bit, pick it up. I'm going to bend the head. So this is what we have on the strap side. You can see you might possibly have an SS underneath it like this. All you have to do is just to cut it out. This part is where you're going to put your button hole, and here is where you're going to attach your button. So the same thing we do with this strap is what you're going to do with all the strap from here down to here. So after that, you're going to iron it very well first. You're going to iron your pant very well. You can see you're going to iron it very, very well, and you are going to fold your leg according to your length. You're going to fold this leg according to your length. And that is all on how to cut and sew a pant or a trouser in your country, depending. So that is it. You can see. And that is all. I will see you on another class. Peace, and make sure you enjoy yourself. So after you're done with the cut, with the sewing aspect of this strap, all you have to do is just to sew all the strap and take it to your ironing table, iron it from inside. Then you're going to fix your button. After you make your button hole, it's as simple as that. And you're going to fold the down part. Sorry, you're going to fold the down part of your leg. You're going to stitch it. So that's just it. And make sure you iron it very well. Ironing is what makes your outfit look perfect. It's as simple as that. So that is all on this cutting of a trouser and sewing of a trouser. I hope I will see you on the next video, which will be the complete video of cutting and sewing of a senator outfit. Peace, and do enjoy yourself.